Hi, people. Once more, we meet again. Good to see you, good to see you, good to see you. Rather than as the world turns, we'll call this as the world burns. I just needed something to do besides argue and scream, so I figured I'd just come on here and build some shit. Zippity doo dah, zippity day. Shit is really fucked up today. Zippity doo dah, zippity day. Alright, I think that's enough links and things. Y'all be lucky. I'll go back to this project before I lose my mind. We need some change, I think. Yep. Sure as fuck do. Don't know how it's gonna happen. Don't know if it's gonna happen. Don't know if it's gonna happen soon. Don't know if it's gonna happen later. But man, I do know one thing, and that's that there's a bunch of people out there that are really fucking angry that they do know. They know exactly how they feel about it. They know exactly what they fucking want. So, and they're letting everybody know about it. So, you know, generally I tend to listen. Shit like that happens. But I'm just me. Oh, I fucked it up. And yeah, I see one person's watching. I know who you are. You're one of the people in Wild Space that's involved in this lovely, far-ranging conversation here. It's a spicy one, to be sure. But yeah, either way, and everybody's fucking pissed. Everybody's fucking scared. Everybody's fucking angry. This shit been going on forever. And then you put that on top of months and months of just not really knowing what the fuck is going on. Is everybody gonna die? Is the world gonna shut down? Is Rona gonna show up and kill all the people I love? What's gonna happen? Yeah, spicy's one way to put it. Yeah, I mean, you're relatively new. Like me and Spider, I mean, we're damn good friends. So we'll kind of argue pretty openly and pretty fucking spicily, but it's not we're pretty good at settling our differences as needed. Most of the time we're both just going for the same place, but we're just taking different tactics. And yeah, I mean, the whole subject is pretty fucking spicy. Oh, but it can. Oh, but it can, man. Holy shit. Can it fucking ever. If you don't watch it. I guess, yeah. I mean, depending on the connotation of the word argue, like debate doesn't do that. But man, me, I'm not really building anything specific. I'm testing a few different ideas in this place, and this one is this is a circle, and these are all flat floors right here. And then these are walls. And then I ran those up. Sup, Regis? I ran those up to here, and then these ones all gathered in the center are floors. Because when you have floors, you can stick a triangle to them and find the middle, and then have, like, say, you know, another ring, going off at a, going off at a canted angle, like an elliptical, orbit or whatever, going around this way. I mean, you have to do that from every point at that angle, but I'm mostly just setting up the jig, so to speak, like the framework from which a bunch of different methods of doing that in a couple different ways can kind of be done. And then I found out I was trying to line up wires by clipping them on the bottom of here and then clipping them in the middle and using them as guidelines. But then I found out that when you blender glitch this floor, it's not quite blender glitching because there's not an existent wire, but you freaking glitch this floor into here. Depending on how the light is facing, it basically sticks that floor. It basically reverses the direction of the floor, like that. So I'm just making another. I'm actually. I actually was in. It's been sitting on pause for a long time. I was actually doing something else here, and I kind of lost track of what I was doing and started going around this circle. But really, what I'm doing is, because I don't have to do it to every single one. I'm just seeing what it does. I want to see how much of this gap going out in steps with these lights, Jesus Christ, with these lights actually does to close the gap. Because really the biggest problem with making circles and just all this shit is like micro adjusting shit together on a snap line so that it's, so you can, like, because you'd be able to do this right here, but there's this gap here. And then when you go in a full, if you go in a full floor piece, or well, you can't go in a full floor piece here, but if these were walls, you could. So by the time you get in here, like, they're overlapping, so it looks kind of funky. But there's a point somewhere in between where they'll perfectly touch, and it'll look seamless and look like an actual circle. And so in that point, like, you reach that, like, that need in a lot of different capacities. And so any means of micro adjusting shit to forwards and backwards in a miserable or can't think of it, like, zero sum way, like, so you're going to be left with this little teeny bit of overlap or something like that. If you actually get it to go, like, by big even chunks, and you can figure out Jesus Christ, you can figure out where that point is, it helps in pretty much any situation where you have to do something like this. And I'm also waiting for the space station to freak out and start, like, eating the sky, which it doesn't appear to be doing yet, because it really do be like that. Oh, I have an orbital station that's actually a bit built off of this idea. I don't know, back in the day you could actually go, like, up in space, and you can't really, you can get close, you can get, like, just above the cloud line, but you just can't get as high as you used to. And I don't really, like, if I'm going to build up in the sky, like, I'll build, like, just above the jetpack level, like, just a little ways up there, but below the clouds, so that the ground doesn't render, because then you'll get less glitching in here. If you just have the basic ground rendering, it's not rendering all these little pieces and shit, so you get a lot less clip in a base. Like, if you want to put a bunch of little pieces in it, like, you want to put a bunch of little lights in it, you want to set up all the rooms and put decorations in them and shit, make it huge, you do that down here where there's all this stuff that it has to render as well, and it has a really hard time doing that. Just post them in the bases channel in freaking Wildspace, man, anytime you want. Shit, I have a couple you can fucking visit. I just like I said, like, since you can't go up into space, it disappears, so I don't really I mean, if I could actually go out in space, I would probably build more, like, at the top of the build ceiling. Just to think about, I want to say about it's around somewhere between 6,000 to 10,000 U up. Oh no, well both of our bases would be PS4 because he's on PS4 too. And no, this is PS4, man. This isn't PC. And you can actually build a pretty freaking big base on Xbox or PlayStation. I mean, you can of course mess around with it and build a fucking gigantic one on PC. But I mean, honestly, like, only people with a significant enough system close enough to yours are going to be able to see it, you know. Yeah, me too. I mean, you used to be able to get you used to be able to get way farther out. Like, I'd say, I don't know that there was any point where there was no upper limit, but when you could first build multiple bases right after Next came out, you could go up, and the planets were a lot more sloppy too about their placement, and the space stations too. You could go up, like, you could easily go out of the atmosphere. You'd be in space. And it was consistent. And the most interesting thing was I found a planet that had a moon where the atmospheres actually overlapped, like a pretty decent amount. It was like right there. And I started building a base on the moon. I started building a base on the planet. I started building towards each other. And I got to the point where, this is like after getting all the way up in space, I started building, because it's a long fucking ways. I built for a long time. And I could actually see the other base. Like, I could see where I was building up from the other base. It was that close. And I saved my game, went to the store, got a pack of smokes, came back, started my PlayStation because it was summertime, it was overheating. And I turned it on, and lo and behold, they updated it and patched the build ceiling limit and completely annihilated that base and popped those two planets apart so they weren't touching almost, and didn't get to do that. But I almost made an orbital tether. Made me quite sad that I didn't get to do that, though. It came close, though. I saw it. But yeah, I would love to be able to build, like, in space stations and shit. Out in space, on asteroids, all that shit. But man, you think we got problems rendering on planets? Oh boy. Wait till it's out there in space with all those asteroids. Holy shit. Oh, Jesus. Oh, it just deleted it, man. I mean, neither base was there anymore. They were just gone like they never existed. They weren't even in my other account. They weren't even in my friends' bases and shit. And I have other players' bases in my list that are literally from, I think, the day that Next came out. Yeah, no, I have one base that's like, it's the first guy I ever met, and he tried to kill me, which is hilarious. Didn't work. I didn't kill him either. He just like disappeared. It was pretty funny, but he just had this, like, I was like building on a planet, and then some dude like landed and like built a base computer, and I was like, really? You're just gonna build a base right next to me? Okay, cool. Fuck privacy, I guess. And so I went over and I was like, and he just walked up, he starts shooting me. I'm like, okay, that's cool. You know, I took off, got my ship. He left the game. And then I just didn't go back. I like went to a black hole and just went somewhere else. Like, I don't want to fuck with that shit. And but a long time later, I noticed that like his base was in my, you know, visited players' bases and shit. So I went back to it, and he had like this huge base built and shit. And it's still there. It's still there. I still go visit it every once in a while. But yeah, that's from like the day that Next came out. And it's still in there, even through all the resets and shit. But those two bases, oh, they're gone. They just like they never were. I mean, it changed it was when they did the Galaxy reset after Next, like where they kind of half reset everything, and it was
it popped the two planets apart and changed their biomes completely. It just completely like changed that whole system. Like, I think there were some systems they just had to do that to because the proc gen had put things too close. Like, I had a couple systems that like the space station was like up in the sky. Like, now the biggest you'll see a space station is like, it'll be like, I don't know, as big as that, like the red, the whatever the armor icon is down on the right hand side, it'd be like that big. But if there were, I mean, I had one planet that had the space station was as big as that planet right there, like just sitting up there in the sky. You could actually see the little blue icon, like glow where the door into it was. I don't. If it does, it won't happen. I don't think it'll happen until the next platform. Because I think that with what they've learned, and with the crazy like sandbox they've been working in so far, I think that if they were going to do it, they would just basically do what they did to make this place, do the proc, make another proc gen algorithm, have it run, generate everything, but they would do it with like, they would do it more complex, and they would do it, vectored forward. And yeah, and things like that might be possible, other things, who knows. But if they were, like, it's going to, there's going to be a whole new level platforms, and they can't, it's like, this is all live, this is all like, a lot of this shit is all centrally stored so that everybody can see the same thing. So in order for them to port that up and change it so fundamentally that it would be worth taking to the next tier of systems, they would have to take it away from this tier of systems, which would suck. Like, you wouldn't be able to be in both, because this wouldn't even render it, and it would clock down the newer systems and shit. So I think that probably what they'd do is they'd like make a new layer or set of units. They would work it into the storyline, like say like Mass Effect, and just make it bigger and better. Just make it again. What is? I mean, it is confusing, I have to say. But I mean, really what it comes down to is they just can't, this is, like, we have all this. Like, I could play this game offline, completely, always, and only see what I change and everything. And yeah, I could do that. But the minute I do that, the minute I go online, all that info goes up to the network, so that anybody that visits here sees various things that I've changed about the environment. And if they wanted to keep, like, say, our world, but port it up to PlayStation 5, they would have to, for one thing, make it worth taking the PlayStation 5. I mean, you can only render what's there. You can only, you can't, it's not going to make it better programming to put it on a better system. So rather than revamping all of this and then rendering it unusable by these systems that we're using right now, by PlayStation 4, they would just generate another one and basically start another world, and then maybe make it so you can port your character, like just the factual information about your character or their items and shit like that, how they translate up. I think it'd be a lot like the Jump to Next. I mean, that was pretty much like if you imagined if pre-Next, if pre-Next was all on PlayStation 3, and then they jumped it up to, yeah, no, I mean, it is confusing. And if No Man's Sky had come out on PlayStation 3, and then at the point where Next happened, they jumped it up to PlayStation 4. With a game like say GTA 5, that's like a contained little world, but they have an online version of it. So there's all these people running around online on PlayStation 3, and they jump it up to PlayStation 4, and then there's all these people running around on online on PlayStation 4. But it's the same basic story. It's the same basic city. People can't build buildings and cities in there. If they could, at the point where they took that one and jumped it up to the other one, they wouldn't be able to just make another one over there, because it wouldn't contain any of the work that all of the players had put into the actual environment of the first one. In order to do that, they would have to literally take that environment away from that system and move it up to the other system, and then that basically renders it not usable to anyone on PlayStation 4 or 3 technically at this point. But it's just because it's a live network, and it's a live network that people build in. Like, we don't build these planets and shit, but we build all these bases and all the names and all that shit. It's like I was talking to Cash and Beecher in their Civ, and we were talking about cross-platform. Yeah. We can move on to cross-platform, which is even more fun. But yeah, like cross-platform, like everybody wants it to happen. Everybody is like, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? But Cash made a really good point. He's like, I started with like, imagine like a place like New Linen or one of the bigger like hubs with all of its bases on it and all the problems and glitchiness and shit it has. And then imagine like just suddenly having it render Xbox, PC, and PlayStation bases on the same planet at the same time. It would just annihilate it. Plus, all the different names between all the systems there's no way to fairly decide like whose name gets to be kept, the Xbox name, the PlayStation name, or the freaking, the PC name. There's just too much. So if they do that, they'll probably wait till next iteration, I would think. Same reasons too. Okay, so I want to see if this actually steps them together. Actually, I should probably do it over here where I've already done this. Except not like that. Come on. But yeah, I want to build in space, though. That would be nice. Yeah, but how is that fair, though? I mean, I could have settled this place right here that I'm in on PlayStation like 3 years ago. Well, not 3 years, 2 years ago. And that was before. Yeah, no, fuck that. No, I'm sorry, that's not right. Because you couldn't even play this game. It didn't even exist on Xbox, dude. And if you. But look at it this way, man. So you can even play this game. You didn't have the option to be in it. So if you had found this place in space and you had built an entire civilization here, just because I was here wandering around 2 months before you and named everything and didn't even build anything there, all of your names get reverted. There's no way to equitably do that. Because it's not like they're all in the same system. It's not fair. Like, I could put just as much effort into something, and because you claimed a name on it, 3 months ago in Xbox over there, it could be like, look at it this way: PC and you're naming shit in the Strand, right? Right. So if you went and you named, like, say you were just like mad fucking sneak troll, right, and you named everything after like the Fed or what, just fuck bag, whatever. Then when it all reverts, it would be nice because I named my shit 2 years ago, so it would all revert to what I named it. But if you had just found that place, though, by yourself, you get it. All right. Sorry, I'm usually not looking at the chat. So I don't really, I only look up every once in a while and catch. I'm trying to roll a cigarette, actually. But yeah, so it's... I mean, they would have to plow through that shit, right? And other things, there's... I tend to think that's probably more why there's no cross-platform by this point than than it not being possible, or them not wanting to. But I do wonder. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There were issues is the fucking word, man. Oh my god, the fucking end of the world. Truly. Well, I wonder where this goes to. Dude, people would lose their fucking minds, dude. Does that go to the middle of that? No fucking way. Wow, it does. Holy shit. Exactly, dude. And this isn't even getting into like programming shit, right? Where like there's differences in features, like when you go do the Artemis mission, and at the very end you end up on this planet for like a little bit, and then it counts down to 16, and then you go to an Atlas station, and that planet, if you actually if you're in a multiplayer game with the person who's doing that, and you go to that system, planet's completely different size, completely different biome, everything. Like they'll be seeing like a planet like this, you'll see like a lush planet with storms as an actual player there. So there's this layer that exists over the top that they can just dip into and just use whatever. Like you go to planets, sometimes somebody comes and visits you, and suddenly everything is like the ground jumps up 10 feet or whatever, because just its spatial relation is just slightly off to everything else. And then to do that across entire platforms, oh my lord, it would be such a fucking train wreck. Tears would happen. Wow. Yeah, pretty much nails it, Regis. Bit it right in the ding dong. So yeah, I think you about summed it up right there. What? Oh, wire. All right. I do wonder what they're gonna update though. Like, and not just like this particular time around, but like just, I mean, they've so faithfully like stuck to, stuck by this community and this game and this network and all this shit. Like, but I mean, at some point, I mean, it's impossible to expect them to just, stick back here. Be like, if like instead of making Mass Effect Andromeda, like, well, God, this would have been better, honestly, because game sucked. But if like the people who build Mass Effect, like they just like stayed on PlayStation 3 and they were still on PlayStation 3, it would just damn them to obscurity as a game developing company. Like, you can't expect Hello Games to just stay on PlayStation 4 when there's a whole new generation of platforms like literally right around the corner. It is interesting though. I mean, this does exist on PC as well, which is worth noting. There we go. Because I mean, there's easily PCs that are yeah, by all means, man. I mean, Wild Space is the Strand is my thing. Wild Space is, I mean, I may have helped come up with the idea, but Spider's been running Wild Space since the beginning. So as far as anything like that goes, I mean, you would definitely, I mean, you'd want to maybe ask for his blessing rather than mine on that, because it is very much so his tang. Oh man, this is a Spider. You know, the guy that owns and operates Wild Space. This guy was just like yelling at and shit, yelling at me, Yeah, that guy. You didn't think I owned Wild Space, did you? It's amazing how many people actually think that. Oh, okay. It's all good. I mumbled too. Wow, that fits fucking perfectly. What the fuck? Wow. How much is that overlap? It's not much. Let's just forget this happened. I saw nothing. What? Forget what happened. It's like a teeniest bit of overlap. It's like microns. Are. Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna let that marinate in the back of my head. Ooh, that hurt. I'm gonna marinate that in the back of my head for a little while and move my happy ass over to this project. Whoa, what's up, Poppin'? Jesus. You imagine what that would look like in real life? Just huge patches of the world just suddenly de-rendered into mush. You just fall through. You're like, oh, lava! Man. What the fuck was I doing? What is this madness? Oh no. I don't remember this. What was I doing here? Yeah, that's very much so. Okay. You want to see a glitch in the Matrix? Okay. I'll show you a glitch in the Matrix. Okay. Glitch in the Matrix. Here we go. Got this little wall here. It's a cool wall. I like it. It's flat. It's even. Goes along the gravity plane of, say, this place. All right. So you know, I'm gonna put this damn corridor on here, which I know isn't as wide as a cuboid room. It's unfortunate. It's just the way it is. Gotta live with that. I can understand that. They're different things. They're different sizes. It's okay. Right? See? Not the same. Not the same. In fact, there's four of those to every 3 of these, if I remember correctly. Yep, roughly, give or take. So, I'm going to build this corridor. I'm going to build another wall on it. And while it will not be as far away as the floor piece, you know, one would hope that it would at least be the same elevation. Would be a reasonable assumption to make. Quite reasonable assumption to make. However, it would be wrong. Because it's not. It ain't at all the same elevation. Now, what a fuck up with that. Sean, what the fuck are you trying to sell me here? So you go through a corridor. You put another wall on, put another floor down, and boom, you're that high. Yeah, exactly. This is the black magic right here. So let's, so can we go back? I wonder. Probably not. So, yeah, let's go up to. That's why every once in a while you just have that one piece that just will not snap to. You're like, what in the fuck? Why is it doing that? I mean, I know it does it, but I don't know why. And that is what bothers me. Because I want to know the why. So, there we go. Look at that. This right here should be, what, same height as that shit? Yeah. So, I need to go back over here, back over here. Where's me floor? There it is. Back over here. So, lose this boy. And that boy. Okay. Oh, you dumb shit. Stop that. Like a frigate? You speaking? Yeah, that'd be cool. It'd also be cool to have freighters be able to, like, I don't know, in somewhat be kind of hard because this isn't really like crazy like all the time multiplayer game, but it'd be cool to be able to, like, if you had the people, be able to, like, have multiple people operate different parts of the ship too. Oh, you could like go in. Oh, I see. Yeah, that would be cool too. So, yeah. So this and this, get out of here, are going to be twice as much magically, because this is the magics. Get up there. Stop that. There we go. Get on. Like a Corsair. Yeah. I think it'd be cool to like be able to have I don't know, something like escort ships. Like how the combat frigates will call in ships to help you, but be able to just have one like be able to cruise around in that ship, but just like when you're not in your starship, have it basically be operated by AI that's just kind of like in formation with you, and be fucking cool. Shit like that. Yeah, I don't know where they're gonna go with it. Probably more bobbleheads, as much as I hate to say it. So, oh, this shit's been aggravating me for days, man. So, okay, my question is so does it do the jump when you put the floor on, or does every single instance of this damn corridor do that? Like,
Like I can't imagine that these drop at all, because then none of this shit would ever line up. No, these don't drop at all. So it's just this jump. At some point, something about this drops the next snap down. So there's basically just the difference between snapping a wall to a corridor or snapping a corridor to a wall, I assume. So this one should be a little higher. Where does it become higher at? Okay, that. All right. Okay, that point right there meets that bevel. That point right there meets that bevel. So it's the wall that drops, not the floor. So, okay. This weird orange trim comes down about that far. Oh yeah, that's a considerable difference between that and that. What the fuck? Okay, so you got that. So every time you drop back out, so if you have a base that has basically basic build pieces, goes into some fabricated pieces, and then drops back out to basic pieces. If you wanted it to match up, you would have to basically go off of the plumb line of the basic pieces wherever else on the base that you started with. You'd have to run them around and then tap back into the fabricated pieces if you wanted it to be straight and not become eventually really fucked up. So if I took this and run it around, but you can't because it doesn't match up. God damn it. Ah! And what even is that distance? That's 3. That's right. That's right. No, I can't do this. That's right. Okay. No, it's going to be 4 from there. So this is going to be a wall. And then that's going to go back 3 corridors. And no, that is not exact. Interesting. But is it exact enough to show up? And nope, it sure ain't. Oy, 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 oy. That's what happens. See, now this is going to be snapping into there, isn't it? No, I don't want to do that. That one's apart, that one's apart. That's how much. Circumference to the dot. I'm gonna go refill my coffee. I'll be right back.
Oh, you know, went to go get another cup of coffee and found that there was no coffee left, so had to make some more. Yes, I know there's a curfew. I can't go anywhere. Cool. The citywide. Yes, I get it. All right. Hello, Daniel. Sorry, I needed coffee. Brr, 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 brr. Well, that's good. So, I guess what I found here is that this is actually indeed pretty much does the exact same thing sideways as it does up. Or kind of. I guess not, actually. So, does this mean that this... Well, shit. Now that brings into question a few other things. One of which being... Does 3 of these actually really equal 4 of those? We're gonna find out. So So 4 of these. Well, 8 of these technically. But I want to come from here. Yeah, that lines up. So that's weird. So the corridor, so the prefab buildings like the corridors and shit, they are the ones that are weird ass fucking shapes. Must be because of the... I don't know actually. Because that inarguably lines up. And so does that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sub to his channel, dude. Beeblebum too. And yeah, I watch all this shit. I usually watch their streams too. So hence all this. So I had this part figured out since a while back, but doing it from snapping to shit and then rotating off of the alternating squares and triangles and shit, but that would only get you up to 24 snapped, you know, not talking like eyeing it, like there's the old cylinder method, then there's the biodome one that Beeblebum came up with recently. It was pretty fucking insane because it's all snapping, so it's all even. And I mean, it'll put 32 walls or floors together, and there's literally no like there's no discrepancy. I mean, that little twitch you can see right there is because I actually fucked up and had to like kind of shoehorn this last one in there. And then that up there is, this right here is basically the same method as it's doing it with the floors, so that you can put triangles in the middle and then like get offset going more towards a sphere. But what I've always been trying to do is get a really huge circle, because I don't want the whole circle, I just want an arc of it for an axe blade, for a giant axe blade. But and then this right here is just trying to figure out why this, where is it? So I don't have one lined up. Why this discrepancy exists between between the freaking normal build pieces, the basic build pieces, the prefab ones. There's basically like between here and there, it basically jumps up a fucking teeny little bit. And I'm trying to figure out like exactly how or why that happens, and exactly how you would negate that, how you would get back to it, because it's not an inconceivable, it's not a like what's the word I'm looking for, inconspicuous like height. Oh Jesus Christ, can I fucking adjacency glitch? Shit. But yeah, it's not a small amount. I mean, it's like pretty fucking decent jump. Oh, fuck you, lights. And there's really no reason for that, other than, I don't know, sloppy programming on the snapping. So, and it stacks. Like, you can keep doing it, but it doesn't line up with any. I mean, it's not that it doesn't line up with anything else. It's that there's, I think I figured out so far, I need to just make a base that has all of them on it, but I think I figured out, I think 15 ways so far that you can get a discrepancy like that, some little teeny little sliver of space or elevation or whatever. And some of them are within sloppable distance, like you can snap one here and snap one to there and they'll mate, and you'll be able to get through if you did it like this. And then there's not too big of a jump before you get a gap like this. Like if you have a gap like this to where the two circles are there, and that's where you can put those two things, and if you look at them, the outside diameter of the one circle hits the outside diameter of the dot in the middle of the other one, and right at that distance, that's where it makes the jump to where it's not snapping with shit anymore on either system. Like if you leave it over here, then it's fine here, but you can't go through the corridor. But this distance, like if you could translate this distance right here to this, it would just snap in the middle. There might be another circle there you could see, but it would be so close. It'd be like almost like a double image, and either one that you snap to would be, you would have passage to both of these connections. So there's a point at which, you know, a little bit of slop is okay, but you get not that far past it and it's toast. But it is dinner time, I've been told, and I got to go, so I'll probably be back in a little bit. Yeah, well, yeah, of course I can make a door inside, but that's not the I mean, I can make a door right here, but that's not I mean, I'm making this happen on purpose so they can figure out like why it's doing that, and then with that I can figure out how to double that up, triple that up, move that up, do whatever to do whatever. I mean, it's how we figure out how to do things like that. You know, it's just by finding some weird little thing. And I mean, and this is just weird. I mean, this is just weird shit right here, dude. I mean, there's no real reason for that. And doors jump shit too. Some of them do, some of them don't. But this door right here, if you glitch things together with this door, it jumps shit up a step. This one, not at all. Which, that makes no sense either. Like, that's pretty much going to be at the same level of anything else, but I don't know if I have any glass, honestly. Do I? Oh, I do. But this one... you dumb shit. Stop that. There we go. Keep doing this and you basically make a little teeny stairway. Because it jumps up every time you glitch something with this freaking teleporter door. Or the freaking portal door. And it'll just keep doing that same distance. Which, you know, it's all about just finding the lowest denominator at which all of these discrepancies all have a common denominator. Lowest point of measure at which all of these discrepancies have a common denominator at which you can work forward or back from. Because then, no matter what's going on in your base with any of this stuff, if you want to bring something from somewhere else and have it match up, you have a, I don't know, a point to go to that will that you can work back from or work forward from to make them meet. You can do math to figure it out, other than just, you know, eyeing geometry. Plus, you can do other things like this. Which is its own form of interesting. And just plain fun sometimes. Like this. I don't really do anything, but I don't think I'll ever get over how fun it is to just sit and freaking spam that shit and have it build a bunch of them. I don't like to do it with those because I don't like to build them underneath each other because of the freaking things, but you can build them on top of each other, no problem. Like so. Anyways, I'm gonna get hollered at again if I don't get to the dinner table, so I'm gonna go for a bit. I'll be back in a while. But thanks y'all for watching. I'll be back with more fucking around with this shit, trying to figure out why and how, and what I can do with it, and what anybody else can do with it. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. Appreciate it. You have a great day. Stay safe, stay alive, and I'll talk to you later.